Hey, how you doing? This is John, and welcome to John's Long Box. What am I doing? Well, I'm bagging and boarding and sorting Heroic Tales 2, and I thought I would stream, show everybody the dull life of a comic book guy who's fulfilling stuff. So I'm surrounded by boxes of comics, and I'm just bagging and board. I just ran out of bags and boards, so I gotta go tomorrow and get more bags and boards. Every issue is going to come bagged and boarded. Here you go. So, but I don't know what you guys know about getting a comic printer, but comics come with a piece of paper between each issue to keep them, because when they print, the ink isn't exactly there yet, so they're kind of tacky. You know what I mean? So they put a piece of paper between the issues, but I hit the wrong button and I got cheap. It's just more work, so I gotta rip the paper off. So this is just holding me back a whole day. So here is the comic. One side's the patriarch. Flip it over, it's the Mary Sue, and So this is what I'm doing, and I'm going to be doing this. I made coffee. I don't have to go to work till 3, so I'm just going to be doing this until I need to go to sleep. And of course, my mouse isn't working, so I hit the button to hit the invite button. But how do you paste without a mouse? How do you paste? So control. I don't know if I hit control P. Control thing. I don't know. How's that? Control C. I copied the link, and then I can't seem to get it to show up. So can't wait to thank you, Geeky Catholic. I can't wait for you to get it. Can't wait to ship it out. I did not ship out any because I'm spending an extra day ripping these stupid covers off. Hey, Dave Rink is here. Dave, do you ever have this? Does anybody know how to I copied the invite link and I can't seem, because my mouse, of course, my mouse isn't working. So I can't just. So this is what I'm doing now. I'm ripping off these protected. These pages are perforated to protect the comic, and that's that. Does anybody know how to? So anybody want to say anything in the comments? Anybody want to come in? If anybody wants to pop in, I guess I'll send you the link through DM in Twitter, because I can't seem to get it in. But I would rather talk with somebody than to talk at people. I like having conversations. So this is how comics come. So far, not one damage. Yeah, Comics Wellspring, what they do is they give you a choice. You can either have just a piece of paper in between each issue, because when they print them, the ink isn't completely dry, and if they stack them on top of each other, because this is the way they get shipped in these bundles, and then they would stick to each other. So they put these protective papers on, but you could pay this is the cheapest way to do it. I guess the printer just staples them on. Otherwise, by hand, they got to insert a piece of paper. And that's the way I did it last time with the piece of paper insert, because everybody said it's a pain in the neck. And I thought I clicked it. So I got to look back at my actual order, because if I paid for the extra and then got the cheaper function. They owe me some money, so I gotta look. So how's everybody doing? So this is gonna hold me back a day. I ran out of bags and boards, so I'll go to the I thought I had more, so I'll go to the comic book store tomorrow on my way to work, pick up some bags and boards. So that means Saturday I'll start shipping. But tomorrow night I'm gonna send all the digital files. So this is a pain in the neck. This is just gonna hold me back an extra day of doing this. And I do it myself, you know. Hey, old dirty fatty, did you resolve your problems? I see you didn't order. You know, for selfish reasons, I'd like to make another sale. So, you know, DM me. I'm about to get up and start my day. Yes. How's everything out there? So, Dave, when you get your comics from the shipper, from the printer, how do they come? Do they come with a protective piece of paper? And it's real nice drawing paper, too. You know, I was thinking, like, does anybody care if they get them like this? Like, I don't know. I got a few comics like this, and it just drove me crazy. You know, and it says right on it, protective paper, perforated. So I'm just, you know, ripping them out. I figure I'm going to rip out about 200 of each cover. And then all the leftovers I'll just leave until I sell them, you know what I mean? Or take them to a convention or whatever. So, of course, I overprinted. That's just good business to ship. Does anybody want to come in? Ah, man, I wish. Does anybody know how to, you know, when you're using yeah, I don't even know what it's called. The pad doesn't have a mouse because for whatever reason, the mouse is not working. So I want to, like right here, I click, pick up, and this picks up the invite link, copy. Now, how do I paste? Hey, Kojo. Nope, someday I'll tell you all the problems of my fellow because I get everything from you at a con. Who knows when I'm going to go to a con? Who knows? You know, does anybody know how to freaking paste from the now asking me to shift key? I don't know. Anybody know how to copied? I copied link and I can't post it in the chat. How the hell do you do it? Control C or Control C? Okay, let's see. Control C, Control V. Oh, Control V. Okay. For whatever. Okay, there's the link. I'll put a star on it. I could put it in. So if anybody wants to put it in. Now my mouse, I changed the battery and the mouse isn't working. I don't know this. Now I know why this laptop was on sale. Now I know why this stupid laptop is on sale. So what they do is they have each bundle's 20. So each box is about 200 comics, I think. Or maybe 100 comics. The comic dude, 69. Your comic is just for middle-aged Republicans. Okay, cool. You mean the people with money? That's fine. Okay. It's better than Young Communists, I guess. Young Communists don't have any money. How many did I print? Oh, I forget exactly. But I got 300 sales altogether. So I think I printed 600. I think I doubled. My comic is just for middle-aged Republicans. Cool. They're the ones that have all the money. They're the whales that got chased away. So I hope middle-aged Republicans like my comic, because young Democrats don't have any money. They're all broke. They're all crying. So I guess I picked the right demographic. You know what I mean? Middle-aged Democrats. What are they doing? Who knows? But that's what I'm doing. So Dave, next. Want to come in and talk? Because this is. How's it covered? So today at work, it's cold. It's extremely cold. And there's something about concrete that traps it. So it's freezing. If you saw those pictures I put on Twitter, it's just a huge airport. You know, it's a new terminal, and I think it'd be one of the big terminals in the world, and it's just huge. And as right now, it's just on concrete walls, and something about just refrigerates everything. So it was colder in the building than outside. And then it makes these little wind tunnels. Me and my partner were working in a wind tunnel, and it was freezing. I could not wait to come home to take a shower. So I went into the terminal, had a cup of soup. It will compliment by so quick. Who's that says good evening, sir? Okay. John Douglas. How you doing, John? Anybody want to come in? Anybody want to come in? I'll put the link down here again. Let's see. Control V. Yeah, it's new lesbian comic. That's great. I'm proud of you. It's an excellent idea. You know, make fun of your former base and then sell lesbian comics. I think it's a good idea, Comic Food. Or may I call you Soy Zach? I do got to congratulate Zach that you refund people really quick. You know, so after he insulted me, I know it's not you. I know it's somebody else goofing. I'm working a crazy new shift. I'm working 3 to 11, so I could sleep till 1. You know, if worst comes to worst, and you know, so I come home kind of wired. I'm drinking coffee now at 1 o'clock in the morning. Sat with my wife for a while. My wife is Canadian, and she ordered stuff from Canada, and it just, she paid shipping and everything like that. It got sent back. It got sent back to Canada, so she's pissed. You know, she orders like stuff. Believe it or not, Canada has like different grocery items than the United States. So every once in a while, like every couple of months, she'll put in an order from a place called Canadian Favorites. And I laugh because she always gets Kraft dinner. In America, they call it Kraft macaroni and cheese, but in Canada, they call it Kraft dinner. And it never fails to make me laugh. So she can't get her Kraft dinner. Omnipro says, I worked the afternoon shift for a while, and you're wired after work. Yeah, it is real weird. Money, but it's killing my channel because I can only stream at noon or midnight. So that sucks. Nobody's available at those times but me. And then I wake up in the morning and I just go to work, so I don't really do anything. Then I go to work, I come home and I'm like, I'm sleepy, I'm going to bed. So I all I'm doing is working. I'm working. I haven't even written that much. I wrote a couple of proofreaders, and all of their criticisms are the same as mine. That it's an info dump, the story. It's an homage to Cosmic Jack Kirby. So it's got a lot of lore, and I tend to put a lot of lore in comics. Believe it or not, these the two Peacock stories very more light. The mayor is a lot more, but I put in a lot of stuff. This cosmic story called Let's Say Dinosaurs is the two people that read it already. Out of the 5 people I sent it to, they said the same exact thing. So I'm trying to get their feedback, see what I could do. But that's it. And then I've been working on Santa Claus story. Renzo is done with the punchline story that's going to be in Bill's in Bill Williams comic book. He's done with that. So he started Patriarch. So I'm excited about that. My secret I'm tell you about. But that is funny because the guy who's working on that, who I have to be secret about until it's complete, is telling me that it's very lore heavy, and he wanted to do it in like a 6-issue limited series. And I said, I would love to, but I don't know. Let's just do one. It was a 13-page story. He got me to do a 12-page story, so that's going to be its own thing. It's going to be its own title, its own comic. And if it does well, there'll be an issue 2. I already know what issue 2 is going to be, because, like I said, my world is all built. I got it all written out. The history from prehistoric times to the far future, all the dimensions. I'm a continuity freak. Oh, and I'm neglecting the chat. I'm sorry. Let's see. John Douglas says 3 to 11 ain't bad. I already. Hey, Chris Williams. How you doing, Chris? How's everything? How's your neck? I worked the afternoon shift for a while, and you're wired after work. Yep. I'm working most of my night shift of writing my superhero book. Oh, cool. Why the F did YouTube change things now? I know. I can't stand it. Hey, Tony. Sorry I'm late, but have you already commented on the mayoral win? Yeah, we're doomed. It is Islam. Islam is taking over America, and we're letting them. They're taking advantage of our tolerance, and everybody's afraid to be called an Istaphobe. So, all I could do is pray that New York City doesn't get bailed out. It gets so bad, you know what I mean? Like your friend who's the alcoholic, he has to fall down and get hurt, before he could hit rock bottom. So I'm just hoping we hit rock bottom. The only thing is I work in the 5 boroughs, so I just hope, the signal's weak, keep freezing. I know. The stupid laptop is the worst. I'm sorry. I hate that I missed this campaign. I'm going to try to catch you next time. My comics are still available. You could go to Fund My Comic, Heroic Tales 2, and buy issue 1 and 2. I overprinted. The Comic Dude 69. You think you're better than me now because you deliver on time? Thank you. You made my night. You think you're better than me now because you deliver on time? Your comic is just a culture war count. My new comic is The Future Bearded Man. There you go. There you go. Can't argue. Can't argue. Can't argue with your soy, Zach. I was just thinking of Zach today. Matter of fact, you need to move your Wi-Fi antenna. Yeah, it's right there. It's literally right there. It's this piece of shit laptop. I got it on sale. I was like, oh wow, this laptop, you know. And I asked my friend who's into computers, and he's just like, yeah, laptops are super powerful now. But I should have asked him if this one was super powerful, because where my computer, where I stream, is over there. It's farther away from my antenna, and that's fine. It's just this laptop is a piece of crap. Master Hobo, greetings from the homeless shelter. You're packing my order right now. Yay. Yes. Well, I'm not packing any order. What I'm doing is these, for those of you who showed up late, the comics came with this protective coat, protective piece of paper on it. Because this printer, when the comics are printed, the ink is tacky, and then they stack them together and they shrink wrap it, and they'll get damaged. So they put a piece of paper between them. And this is the cheapest method, but I paid for the step up. So I got to look at my invoice to see if did I click the wrong button, or did they? Because their customer service is excellent. I if there's a mistake, it's probably on my part, because I'm like that. I'm like that. Hey, Buzz, how you doing? Your campaign's coming out soon. Edwin, how's everything going? YouTube sucks. Yeah. Oh, okay, I'm all caught up. Okay, cool. I will put this here again if anybody wants to pop in. I was kind of hoping Arkham would be up this late. He's the only one who's seems to be up at this time. Hey, Ben, how you doing, Ben? If anybody wants to come in and talk with me, I'd rather talk with people than talk at people. So there's the StreamYard link if anybody wants to pop in. Tomorrow night, around midnight, I'm going to release the digital files. But here you go. Here's Heroic Tales 2. And then it's a flip book. So here's the Mary Sue story. Heroic Tales complete. Heroic Tales is working on Patriarch number 1. Patriarch number 1 is 45 pages of story, but that could be more because Renzo, he could say I'm making this a splash page, and I don't argue with him. So 45 pages of story, and then I already have a variant cover, and Renzo's doing the variant cover and the regular cover. So Renzo's, because you'll see why. And then I want to write an article from Regina Lopez, something about the history of superheroes in my world that you need to know, or at least it's brought up, and I think it's a really good idea. And so far, only one person guessed it. RJ, call sign Orion, guessed what I'm going to talk about. And maybe I'll put in like a map of Science City. So Patriarch number 1 is going to be all me, Renzo, and Oscar, the colorist, and then Bill Williams, the letterer. It's going to be a real small team. And then Renzo said he'll be done with that by early next year. I don't know if he meant January, February, or March. So I'm hoping to be neck and neck with the secret project. The secret project that I know my collaborator is going to be mad because I keep saying that I have a secret project, but I'm not saying who it is, and I'm not saying what it is, other than it's going to be its own comic. So far, Longbox Comics is going to be Heroic Tales, the Patriarch, the Secret Project, and then the origin of Santa Claus. Those are all the time. Oh, and Eddie is Doomed. Eddie is Doomed is currently also being worked on, but that's up to Tonic Wall. That's up to Tonic Wall. So Zach is shouting at me from wherever he lives. Just admit you're comic tourist. You're probably worse than Wes from Thinking Critical. At least he has a collection. Your 2018 talking points don't work anymore. Yeah. What do I know about comic books? I only have 58,000 comics. I only have a comic book room with 200 long boxes, but I see your point. You're right. You're right. I only have everything from Marvel from 1962 to 1974. But what do I know? Secret project. You need Andrew to NDA. Yeah, it's funny. I was talking to him about it. He's not doing it. We're not collaborating, but just I wanted to tell somebody, and he just happened to message me, and we were bullshitting, and then I spilled the beans. Because that's the way I am. I have to tell somebody. If I don't tell somebody, then I'm going to tell everybody. So that was that. Again, if anybody wants to come in, because I'm just ripping these stupid. I'm actually doing pretty good progress because you keep me distracted. When I sit here and do this by myself without talking to anybody, I just get so bored. Believe it or not, I get easily distracted and easily bored. And Douglas, you're a writer. Dave, you're a writer. I like distractions. I like when I'm writing something and then my wife comes and starts talking to me, and then I go back and I look at what I'm writing and I'm like, okay, that was pretty good, or oh man, that stunk. You know, it like I stop and then I become like critical. You know, so I kind of like distractions. Tony Grigo. Tony, why don't you come in? Come in and talk with me. What do you think of the fact that Paramount has given up on the J.J. Abrams? Good. They weren't Star Trek movies. They were space adventure movies. You know, I don't know, but I heard rumors that they're. Hey, Eric, how you doing? How you doing? I sincerely hope you're not misinformed about comics, since I learned a lot from your show. I don't know. Well, that's just it. If you know, the way to combat misinformation is to actually discuss. It's funny. I was violently against blocking people, and now I've been on a blocking spree. I realized that like reading people's nasty trolls and stuff like that. It's like you have nothing to offer me, so don't waste my time. You know, I post my buddy's art, and this guy's like, "Oh, would you hire a South American?" It's like, no, you hired an American, and I got 8 artists working for me. Not one of them from South America, but you know, troll all you want. I got to get up and get another box. I will say this. Box of comics is pretty effing heavy. Box of comics is pretty effing heavy. So here's 20 more comics. That was heavy. Heavy with goodness. What is the comics dude? It's not about being a hot dog salesman anymore. It's about taking shit about everybody, like throwing hot dog topping at people. Yeah, I agree. It's about jealousy. It's about chasing away your audience. And it's about making new and interesting lesbian comic books. It's about admitting that your comic book channel is not about comic books. That it's the Howard Stern show. That talking about comic books is boring. I don't know. I could talk about comic. I want to talk about my comic books. I arrogantly want to talk about my comic book all day long. But there's only one comic book out there. So if I talk about it, I'm going to start giving everything away. You know what I mean? So I don't. So I'll talk about your comic books. I'll talk about Dave Brink's comic books. I'll talk about anybody's comic. I like comics. Let's talk about comics. That's why I have a comic book channel and not just a pop culture channel. I like comics. And maybe this time next year we could talk more and more about my world and world building and stuff, because is the Jose Garcia variant, the Josh Howard. Here you go. We got letters page. We've got the credits. I didn't see any typos yet. But I've noticed 3 mistakes. We'll get a Nope prize if you could spot the 3 mistakes. We got an ad at the beginning. And there we go. So I'll make another pile because this is the Josh Howard cover. So I want to have different piles. Oh, Master Hobo, you got the Jose Josh variant cover. Cool. I don't know who you are, Matt. You're my favorite commenter. You got to use AI for the script like me. Yeah, ChatGPT. This guy's admitting he's using ChatGPT, and he can't wait for AI art to be good enough so that he doesn't have to work with artists anymore. Comic Dude 69, you're the best. I'm disappointed that you're not the real Zach, but man, you're the best. Do I work on the weekends or I'm off? I'm off. Excuse me, but my job is threatening overtime. I hate working overtime. But it's just the money's just too good. The money is just too good. You know, I just have to laugh. You used your 401k, dude. If you watch that Liam, I talked about $6,000 left on a car loan. If you think my 401k is $6,000, $6,000 is nothing. You know, New York electricians. I put $600 a week away into my 401k, and I've been doing it for 35 years. So I just have to laugh at these people. One guy's all mad at me because I lied to him. I'm like, well, you know, Comicsgate is lying about me, and it doesn't seem to bother you. And you know it's a lie. But whatever. I'm trying to use this stupid mouse, and it's not working. Okay. What is this? I got the hot Josh. John, do you work a week? Okay. Don't tell Renzo I didn't get his cover. Why? Renzo's cover is glorious. I always wanted to ask if anyone's ever given you poop about writing a female Asian. You know, nobody yet. Nobody yet. Matter of fact, the only female Asian that I'm friendly with, in the comics group, is Rini, and she wants to do a cover. So I got to reach out, and for Heroic Tales 3, Rini might do a variant cover. I hope she's still interested. I hope she's still interested in doing the variant cover. It's so cool to see my comic in my hand. Look at that. So good. It's so good. And wait, you guys, the Patriarch. Like, the first issue was my learning curve. Second issue, but wait, the Patriarch is where it's like it's good, better, and then rocket to space. Because the Patriarch #1 is how I wanted to write. All lore and continuity and big ideas. But I couldn't do that in the first issue. I think it would chase people away if it was just too dense. This issue is there's a lot of sneaky lore in here. There's a lot of sneaky lore in this, and like I said, it's Dungeons and Dragons. It's superheroes meets Dungeons and Dragons meets H.P. Lovecraft, and this story, Subterranean Homesick Blues, is perfect. It's 1/3 superheroes, 1/3 Dungeons and Dragons, and 1/3 Lovecraft. It's perfect. Whatever happened to Comics Illustrated? What is that? Comics Illustrated? Enlighten me. What is Comics Illustrated? That was like an indie magazine, right? That was going to happen, and then didn't. Raina might do a Heroic Tales variant cover. Just take my wallet. Yeah. She offered. She wants to do a Mary Sue cover, a variant cover. If you watched, I think it was the last time I was on Yellow Flash. She offered. So I gotta reach out and talk to her again. I haven't talked to her since. The Wheelers, my committee, they have a Comics Illustrated. Mike Wheeler just started attacking me one day, so I just don't talk to him. And then, like a month later, he was like, "Hey, buddy, how's it going?" I'm like, "Do you not remember that you were just like out of the blues nasty to me?" So I don't know, but believe it or not, I don't follow a lot of people on YouTube. I don't watch a lot of channels. I watch less and less YouTube, and I read more and more comics. So I don't really know what's going on. I kind of don't want to know. It's not comics anymore, so I don't care. So I don't follow the drama anymore. Like it's people message me today about drama. Oh, you're gonna comment? You're gonna comment on this? I'm like, no. It's. I was fighting with people for a while, and then I'm like, what am I even fighting for? Because now I'm turning into what I don't like. One guy was like, well, you're obsessed with Betsy. And I was like, you know what? You got me. Fair point. So I'm just gonna stop. Just gonna go back to the way I was. Love of comics. There was a I think there was the comic dude. This makes me laugh. What does this say? There's a lot of good comics out right now from DC. Mark Waid is peak, if you ask me. This Captain America that hates America is really what we need. Spouting facts. This is a good idea. I often wonder why people don't put all their deep lore and world building stuff on a dedicated website. That is the plan. Believe it or not, I had that. I had that for 20 years. It was called the Villains and Vigilantes Forum. And what it was me and my buddies would play Villains and Vigilantes, the game that, inspired my comic. And then when they would leave, I would write up the story ideas because to be honest, my friend Paul forgot the details instantly. So I would just write up the story ideas. And it was just like, I tried to write it as if it was like Stan Lee doing a blurb of what happened. So it's the same as Dungeons & Dragons, but superheroes. And then it was like, the name of the adventure. And I tried to make it so that every night was an issue. Every session that we played was an issue of the comic, and then I would write on the message board, this issue, this happened, and then my friends would comment, and next thing you know, over the course of 20 years, it became the Villains Vigilantes website. So like Jeff D would post on it, the guy who ran Fantasy Games Unlimited, he would post on it, and and then it kind of went away. It got more and more expensive to maintain because it was just so old. So we saved all the data and pulled the plug on it just a couple of months ago. And depending upon how Patriarch and the Secret Project and the comics that are definitely coming out are Patriarch, Heroic Tales 3, and the Secret Project, and Eddie is Doomed, and Santa Claus. After that, if things are still going well, I want to put up I want to make a storefront and a message board again, like an old-fashioned 90s to early 2000s message board, and I'll have like my comics, my lore and everything. How you doing? Awesome seeing Captain Cunningham. Yeah. Somebody suggested that you should have Captain Cummings on your channel. I was like, is he still around? Is he on YouTube? Yeah, he's got this name. So he has like an alternate name that I don't know if I'm at liberty to discuss. So I messaged him, and he knew who I was. And he was like, yeah, sure. And we still chit-chat. So it was awesome seeing him, I've been reading some novels now to add to my comic reading. Yeah, I'm finishing up the second Doc Savage novel. It's not that good. I more or less quit indie comics because of the drama. I have zero interest anymore. Yeah. When I said that, I was made fun of. And I said, comics are getting less and less sales, I sell 400. I sold 500 copies of my first issue, and I sold 300 copies of my second issue. So I had drop off. I guess I'm going out of business. So I had drop off. But now I see like the big wigs, now that we see the the unique sales, I'm like doing half as good as Pitt, but we should be doing better. Why? Because the drama, outside a handful of books. Well, I hope you still back me. I'm making a pledge to stay out of this drama stuff. It's not good. It wears on your soul. I hope I'm not freezing up or anything. Obsessed or holding hijack CG responsibility. Yeah, I don't even want to talk about CG. Just it's so cringe now. It's just so cringe. Sorry if this laptop is so slow. Wow, your chat's really moving there. A lot of people are. Yeah, thank you guys. Yeah, thank you. Yeah, and this is good because this is keep me distracted, so I'm not getting bored. I'm chatting with you guys. Like I like doing something. My mind wanders when I'm doing something repetitious. So if I don't have something to keep my mind occupied when I do this, I get bored. But you know what I never get bored of? Talking with Tony Grigo.
Hi, John. Just thought I'd pop in real quick. How's everything going?
Cool.
Hmm?
Good. Good. My crappy laptop is like freezing on me. So how's everything with you?
Fine. Just got back a little while ago. Saw that you were live streaming. The comics look beautiful.
Yeah, they really do. I don't want to point out the mistakes that I've noticed because people are gonna. Good night, fake Zach. You made me laugh tonight. Thank you. I don't want to point out the mistakes because then, like, other people go, "Look at this. This guy doesn't know what he's doing."
Would you ever interview
by myself? I make mistakes. I'm sorry.
I said, would you ever? You had Captain Cummings. I was saying you had Captain Cummings on earlier. Would you ever have your boy Zach? If you would ever, not that I doubt he would ever show up.
I asked him. I asked him back when we were on good terms, and he said no. If he wants to come on, I'll have him on. We'll talk. I've been trying to get Gail Simone on. Believe it or not, Gail Simone and I have been chit chatting. So
that's awesome.
I tried to get Heather Antos on. You know,
Oh, I remember that. Yeah.
You don't. I mean, if it's a culture war and if it's a battle, you don't win by preaching to the choir. You know what I mean? You got to reach out.
Yeah.
And I've had a lot of lefties on my channel, and we talked about comics.
Hmm.
You know,
I know. Yeah, there
so
was some damn good
I mean,
conversation.
I went to a Comic-Con, spent $10 on some. You know, and it's funny because EBS took the picture of me and Heather and used it as proof that I was a lefty.
Yeah, the Frog
Yeah.
Father. You never fail
Charlie
to.
Kirk of comics. What's that?
Hmm? I said the Frog Father never fails to
What did you say?
entertain. Hmm?
Yeah.
So tell me,
Well,
how
somebody
long did
there
you?
was
Hmm?
oh, don't worry. Top Heroic Tales in my top 5. There was, but the comments were. I'm sorry. This laptop just sucks.
Don't worry
Yeah,
about it.
you
I'm going to
can't.
be going in a bit. But
Would
I
you
just
get?
wanted to say,
Okay. Thanks for coming in. Thanks for coming. Oh, I ordered $300 worth of stuff from a Hatch chili.
oh, nice.
So that
Nice.
should be showing up tomorrow. I got some chili rellenos. I got some red chili sauce from New Mexico. I got a Easter of red chilies. Yeah,
It,
I
are you?
got some green chili sauce, and then there was a, a, a container of green chili stew. Man, it gets cold. Usually around this time of year, I crave that stuff. You know, I don't know if you're cold out there yet, but it's chilly now.
It's freezing over here. Did you get Bueno? The brand Bueno?
I don't know if you. Yeah, I always have Bueno green chili frozen. I got
Yeah,
it in my freezer right over there. You know,
that's the best.
I
Yeah, I
get
love
three
it.
I get 3 tubs of hot and then 3 tubs of medium because sometimes my friends can't deal with the hot. When I get
I'm gonna,
Ingleton of I Love Comics, I'm like, yeah, I'd get him. I'd get anybody. I'd get anybody. The problem is my stupid schedule is making it tough. I got a lot of people asking, and then when I tell them what times, they're like, "Oh man, I can't come on." I'm like, "Yeah, I know."
I'm gonna
So
make some. I'm gonna make
the
some green
schedule.
chili. Hmm?
Oh, I just when you talk, it's so muddy. Guys in the chat, is Tony coming up muddy, or is it just on my end that I can't hear him?
I'm
I
sorry.
almost quit
I'll
comics for
split.
Rippaverse and people like Vaughn Coleman, and you got me hyped for. Oh, thank you, thank you. Yeah, you know, thank you. Oh, Tony left. Tony left. Vaughn's cool. Vaughn was just here last week. He's out there. We played games. Vaughn's a cool guy. Very into comics. You know, he freaking loves comics. He's the real deal. Uh, I'd like to have Ripper on again. You know, I'd like to just talk to about all this cream stuff, but part of me just doesn't want to engage it anymore. I hope this stuff wears on my soul since it's kind of bloated and flabby. Return the laptop. It's that bad? Is it that bad? You know. So when I stream games, I run a cord from my computer, and then I just use the laptop just to see what people are saying in the chat. But I'm gonna fulfill here, so I got I got my scale. You know, you got to weigh your packages. I got a scale over here. I got my Rollo printer set up over there, so I can spread everything out. You know, I'm gonna put but I got to get these comics out of the paper. Uh, Tony is in New Mexico. I don't think I'm doxing Tony is in New Mexico, Albuquerque. I don't think I'm doxing him when we talk about that every week. So Tony sounds fine. So it's just my laptop that sounds like crap. It's mostly on my end. Okay. Yeah. Go to make some green chili stew, followed by some green chili. I missed that. When I lived in Albuquerque, everybody was like, "Did you have green chili? Green chili, good chili." And I, whenever everybody tells me I have to do something, I rebel against it. It's just my personality. It's just the way I am. So I was like, "F you and your green chili." And then finally, slowly over time, I got into green chili, and even better, it's red chili. And when I say red chili, I'm not talking about salsa. It's salsa. I'll take a picture when I make red chili. It's not salsa. It almost looks like a marinara sauce. Like if you didn't have a sense of smell and you saw somebody cooking red chili sauce, you'd be like, "Oh, you're cooking marinara sauce, spaghetti sauce, pasta sauce." But it's not. Oh, it's so good. It's so good. I think I like, I like red chili sauce more than green chili sauce. And I'll show you guys when it comes. I'll take pictures. I'll put it on Twitter or it seems like the best part of the streaming of graphics are gaming computers. Yeah, you're probably right. Yeah. I mean, this laptop was like $250. It was like I think it was like a Black Friday sale last year. Yeah. You are faithful to your backers. I try to be. Yeah. I try to be. I mean, that's what it's all about, right? I want to tell these comic book stories, and if I don't do the right thing, who am I going to tell them to? You know what I mean? Like I already played the role playing games. I already wrote them up on a message board. You know what I mean? So now to make them into comic books, I gotta make interesting comic books. I gotta get good art. Gotta get good color. I think I'm doing pretty good as far as art and color. Like the only thing you could criticize is my storytelling, because you legit can't say anything bad about this art. Renzo is so good. Oscar and Daniel, the coloring is so good. Bill Williams is great lettering. So there you go. Thank you guys for asking questions. Thank you guys for keeping me distracted. How long have I been an electrician? Did I go to school to learn? I'm in my 22nd, maybe 23rd year of being an electrician. And yes, I had to go to school. I was a school teacher. I have a master's degree in Greco-Persian history. I'm a arty-farty, nerdy history guy, and I feel like I'm losing it all. I've forgotten more than I remember because it's been so long. And then I quit, and I applied for every job. I just couldn't be a teacher anymore. Getting angrier, and I was an angry person back then. I was 350 pounds. I was an angry person, and I was just getting miserable. And I applied to be a court officer. I applied to be a truck driver. I applied to like a maintenance guy in Antarctica. I'm fascinated with Antarctica. And the electricians called me and took the test. I do really good on tests. I'm good with test logic. So I did really good on the test, and I started right away. And everybody else was like 19, 20, and I was 30, and I just took it real serious, man. It was tough. I don't know if I could do it again. 5 years, but you work during the day as an apprentice, and then at night, 3 days a week, you go to school. It was rough. It was tough, man. And I was married, coming home at 10:30. Oh man, it was rough. My poor wife is a saint. Put up with all my nonsense. It was tough, and I was angry. I was an angry person. So you're seeing happy me. Every once in a while, you see angry me. Come on, John. We know you want to be an electrician. You wanted to get electro superpowers. It's fun. If if I could have started my life over again, that go back in time. I hate to say it, but if I could go back in time, I still would have went to college. I really enjoyed college. I really enjoyed learning about the ancient world and all that stuff. But right out of college, I would have become an electrician. I wouldn't became a teacher at all. There's no way. It was miserable. I hated every second of it. Do you ever question the history you're told nowadays? We see real time how news sensation. Yes, I do, and that's going to be a topic in Heroic Tales if I could get it. Yeah, I mean, look at it. It's changing right now. Kids are being taught that communism is great. Kids think that communism is you don't have to work. You do whatever you want. You know what I mean? They're about to get a real dose of it in New York City. Hey, John, ever tell a helper to go fetch a bucket of ohms? Yeah, I could tell you. Yeah, there's a lot of my two brothers are electricians, so they got me. They schooled me in all the electrical gags. Bucket of steam, a sky hook. One foreman told me when I was an apprentice, go get me. He goes, hey kid, go get me a sky hook. And then he said, and I don't want to see your face until you get the sky hook. Now I know there's no such thing as a sky hook. Like, okay. And I made a big show of looking around, walking around. And then when he left, I went home. So it was early in the morning and I went home. And the next day I came back. He's like, what you doing? I said, I was looking for a sky hook. And you didn't want to see me. He goes, all right, you got me. Don't do that again. Yeah. There's a good tradition of busting on the apprentices, John is just as heroic as his comic hat. No, I'm a jerk. Old Dirty Fatty. I really like good mild chili. I know this seems like an oxymoron. No. Whenever, like a Sunday, if Dark Alchemy Limited, they have a YouTube channel. They're coming over. We're gonna record a video. My friend Jimmy is moving, and he gave me all his D&D stuff, and he must have been given all his D&D stuff from somebody else. I had to clear it away. This whole table is filled with D&D stuff, the second edition and third edition and stuff like that. So they're coming over, and we're going to make a video. Well, you saw my video of the Dragon's Horde, if you see my channel. So, but I might make chili for them. Do you think that if Slila could have dropped out, it could have helped Cuomo? No. Cuomo hurt Sliwa. Sliwa was the Democrat. He lost the primary and then ran as an independent. The Republicans weren't going to vote for him. What happened is the Democrats imported all these aliens, all these foreigners. They have no allegiance to the United States. They have no allegiance to America. They don't care. And so we're going to elect a Democrat to stop another Democrat from using Democrat policies. If I still lived in the 5 boroughs, I would Sliwa all the way. Got it? And all the guys at work, they're all hardcore Republicans. I'm like, this is what you get. This is what you voted for. This is open borders, infinite immigration. The demographics of New York have changed. It's people who don't care about New York, America, whatever. It's gimme, gimme, gimme. And dare I say it, it's a bunch of Muslims who just want to conquer America. I'm not a fan of Islam. There's Muslims that I like, but you could dislike an ideology. You know, I'm beyond being called racist, homophobe, whatever. You know, that don't work on me. Wow, a lot of comments. What got you pissed off when you were teaching? The kids or the parents? Neither. If you become a teacher and you get pissed off at kids, you should be a teacher. And the parents, a couple of parents got on my nerves, but what got me mad was the rules, the administration. I was told everything I said was wrong. I told one kid, you benched. You can't go out at lunchtime. And the principal said, "Oh, you can't say bench because that was a slave term in the 1600s." I said, "Oh, really? Benched is a slave term? I thought it was a baseball term." I said, "Do me a favor. Write down every word a slave owner has ever uttered, and I will expunge them from my vocabulary." Just stuff like that. Slave. I'm trying to teach kids math. Leave me alone. Oh, wow. I'm seeing things I've already seen before. The chat must have jumped. John Douglas says, I was an electrical worker for 13 years too until I switched careers to become a nurse. Wow. So were you an electrical worker at Orc City or a nurse in Orc City? Wow. That is tough. I put a skyhook in my book, Legendary Creature No One's Ever Seen. That's funny. My favorite to always go grab a 3/8 Hemingway and a wire stretcher. What about the floor? Well, we don't use fluorescent bulbs anymore, but we used to, you know how some light fixtures have a U-shaped fluorescent bulb? We used to tell kids get the bulb bender, because we bend pipe. We used to tell, bend these fluorescent, and we give them a box of fluorescent lights, and boom, they'd break them. And we're like, what are you doing? You got to get them wet. So now they're wetting the lights, and boom, you got to pay for that now. Oh, I'm at the bottom. I made it. Following up on Tony's question of Bodley when you were a teacher, the parents. Oh, yeah. Well, I just said it's the administration. The administration. Sliwa is too conscious. Yeah. First off, I met Curtis Sliwa about 10 years ago in a bar, and we had drinks together. And he's a regular guy. He cares about the city. And literally, this guy got into fistfights to protect the city. He literally put his books and fist fought, bled for the city. So, I think he's a regular guy. I think he's a regular guy, and that's what the city. My big fear now is that Trump or the next president bails out New York City. Oh, it's too important. It's just too important. We can't. No, let New York City. And it's going to affect me. It's going to affect me. I just pray that I stay on this, in the airport until I retire, so I don't have to take the subway system, because I'm going to be the next Daniel Penny. I'm going to be fighting. Get in trouble, and then I'm going to get arrested. Orc doesn't even have running water. Those trustworthy elves. It's funny. I put up a picture of my job today, and Michael Bancroft commented, "Rebuilding the mines of Moria," and then I was like, as a kid, I always wanted to be an elf, and then I grew up to become a dwarf. Tony, I'm sorry that you left. Are you enjoying the Doc Savage now? Personally, I think the Shadow stuff is better written. Yeah, so far I'm not really impressed. I'm almost done with the Midas Man. It's funny because I get to work. I'm always 40 minutes early, and I read 40 minutes a day of the Doc Savage. I should be done tomorrow. I don't know. Talk about a Mary Sue. Doc Savage is the ultimate Mary Sue. He's got a team of assistants, but he's better than all of them. Whatever he does is great. He's Reacher. That would be a good team up. Reacher and Doc Savage team up. Two alpha males. But it's not bad. I like it, but it's all right. Yeah, I got to get the. I want. What's the name of the first Shadow novel? I got to get the first. I got to start at the beginning. Wow, got a bunch of people watching me. Anybody else want to come in? I'll put the link over here. When Tony was in the chat, was it difficult to see? You know, was there problems, or was it just on my end? So, like I said, tomorrow, The Living Shadow is the first one. The Living Shadow is the first novel. Okay, I'll pick that up. So, I'm just gonna finish with this box. Well, The Man of Bronze is the first Doc Savage novel. I meant to say the Shadow novel. Tony was good, but I was freezing a lot, and you could understand Tony. Yeah, so maybe Tony, if you come back and talk. You know. You've seen the glamorous life of a comic book creator. You know, everybody hates fulfillment. I enjoy fulfillment. You know, I got to go tomorrow and pick up some backing boards. You know, so you know, I bag and board every comic, and then the next step is every. I forget if everybody gets 2 or 3 cards. I forget what everybody gets. You know, so everybody's going to get cards. And every comic is going to have 7 cards. Well, not every comic. So far, Heroic Tales had 7 cards. Heroic Tales 2 has 7 cards. Patriarch is going to have 7 cards. The Secret Project, I don't know. It's going to have 2 cards that I know of, but maybe more. Maybe we'll do 7. Eddie is Doomed. I could have a million cards for that. There's so many cool characters. You know, and the funny thing is Eddie's card will be the worst because he's just a regular guy, you know. But I don't know. I get a kick out of the cards. I get a kick out of the cards. I hope you guys like the cards. But as I was saying, like you could buy $10 for a set of cards. It's funny because on Facebook the cards sell because I'm in a couple of villains and vigilante groups, and the cards sell more than the comics because they got character sheets on the back. And you know, a lot of people like me are hardcore collectors, so they just want characters. So they see superhero cards with character sheets on them, and they buy sets of cards. You know, so I think that's funny. Blue is for science officers. Yes, in the original Star Trek, science. Yes, so medical and science. And red was for engineering and security, and gold was command. Yeah. In education, and then bachelor's in Greek and Roman history, and then I have an associate in worker history. I got that for So I got a bunch of degrees. Big deal. What was this comment? Can't wait. As me as Snake Plissken. Yeah, I hope. I can't wait to get out of here. You know, me and my wife. Like I bought this house in the middle of COVID. Everything crashed in the middle of COVID, and then everything boomed after COVID. I just had like this perfect window, so it's like I'm not even joking. The listing value of this house doubled. I mean, so and they don't even know what work I've done in the house because all the work is inside. You know, the only work I replaced the roof, and I repaired my fence. That's the only thing that you could see from the outside. So if they're gonna double the value of my house, I put in a bathroom. This basement was a disgusting dungeon, unmodified. You know, Juan was just here. He was like, this basement is awesome. So, so I would like to sell the house and buy a house someplace like, I don't know, someplace they don't tax your pension. Contrary to what people say, my pension, my 401k has over $1 million in it. I'm doing fine. Just making sure. So I've got these 2 bundles to do. Yeah, my taxes. My tax, that's legal. Taxes is the most evil tax in the world. All the liberals say housing is a right for that right. It's disgusting. It's disgusting. Let me put that over here. I'm running out of room. John, if you read the 80s DC relaunch of Blackhawk written by Howard Chaykin, yes, I read that. I've been getting into it again. It's still really good despite the fact that he made the main character a communist. Yeah, Prohaska, he was Polish, and I remember there was a clandestine sex scene that caused a big problem over in my comic book store. Reread the 4-issue miniseries. See if what one of the mothers got really mad about it, and I was a dumb kid. I didn't. That's Howard Chaykin for you, And I can't believe that DC Comics let sex scene with Blackhawk. It was just inappropriate. Yeah, I know it was a prestige format series. I'm talking about the 4-issue prestige series. I don't know if they did anything like that in the. What was that? Just get rid of all this paper. I took all the comics out of this box, so now I can put this waste paper in this box. And then tomorrow I bag the board. I'd say about some of it boarded, so I can start tomorrow. There we go. Clean up. So, Q&A. Any questions? Any questions? Any questions? Anything you want to ask? Anybody want to pop in? It looks like I'm all caught up on the comments. Thank you guys for making this fun. This is the worst part of fulfilling. Sending out the comics, going to the post office, dropping them off. Even sealing the Gemini mailers is fun. And, I go to fund my comic and I click fulfilled. Once I put it in the Gemini mailer, I click fulfilled and it's, stacked over here. Then I bring it. It's very satisfying just watching, because it's like tan. And then when you hit fulfilled, it turns like a light tan. So you can instantly see as the color shifts your progress. And it's just so satisfying. I could see that, if I was bored now, I would be on the spectrum, because there's just like certain things that just like, I like continuity. I can't get out of bed unless the number is on a 5, things like that. Like when the alarm goes off, I jump out of bed because, if I set my clock for 4:30 and it's 4:31, I got to lay in bed till 4:35. I hear you, but it's satisfying getting them in the mail. Yeah, it is fun. When I see like other people getting their comics and they're like, "This is so much fun," I'm always like, "Oh, that's nice that they're lying. That's nice." But you know what? It's true. It's true now that when I see other people posting, and I gotta say, when I turn on Twitter and I see a picture of Heroic Tales, I get nervous. I'm like, here comes somebody's gonna slam me, But you know, when you buy the comics, I get your name. So there's only one name I'm worried about. But they bought it. They bought it. They bought it. What is going on? John, I admire your work ethic. Did your parents inspire you? Oh, yeah. My dad never missed work. I remember once my father didn't go to work and he was sick and I was freaking out. I was panicking. Is dad okay? Is dad okay? He never missed work. He worked overtime. I'm not joking. There was months when I only saw my father on Sundays because I would be in bed before he came home from work. And there were 7 kids. My father was a telephone man. You know what I mean? My mom didn't work. So, I tell the story. There was when we were little kids. My father was on strike, and he had to go work at the docks. And we were eating homemade pizza, and my father denies this story because he's so embarrassed. My father's very proud, but it was white bread with a slice of American cheese on it, smeared ketchup and oregano, and I loved it. I thought it was a treat. I didn't realize we were poor. And I remember, what's for dinner tonight? Homemade pizza. I'm like, oh, and I'm outside playing, and my father would step on the stoop and whistle. He would stick his finger in his mouth and whistle. Boop. And I run home. I'm gonna go home. We'll have homemade pizza. And my father just ate. He was miserable. He hated it. But he worked. Never missed a day of work. I wish I had more of my father in me. He was a good guy. Oh, John, your book is getting a video for me when my order arrives. Thank you. I get nervous. I hope you like it. This is why we love you, John. Your passion is legit. Your work ethic puts others to shame. CG is all bark and no bite. I don't even want to say anything about CG anymore. What is there to say? There comes a point where what's been said's been said. Good luck. Good luck, guys. I wish you the best. If that's what you like, that's what you like. And I'm not even responding anymore. Like today, some troll. I posted a picture of my Greek hero character and the wife, and his comment was "purple is gay." I just blocked him. Why even respond to that? Congratulations. So it's over. CG's over. It's not even worth talking about. It's time to move on. You know what I mean? Are we talking about the new 52 in DC anymore? You know what I mean? Are we talking about the Silver Age anymore? It's over. Any questions? Anything anybody want to ask? I love this. Oh, you can't even see what I'm looking at. I love this. Josh Howard. Josh is so good. I got this original hanging them in my comic book room. I would have Jose works digitally. I would have bought this too. I would have bought that too. Oh, which reminds me. I always ask Renzo to do all covers in pen and pencil. So he's starting the cover for Punchline. he wanted. I don't tell him what to do for the covers, so but I just want to remind him that if he could do it in pencil, so I can buy them from you. Sorry about the silence. I can't talk and type. Okay. I'm also, as soon as I have the thought, I have to send the message, otherwise I forget. So, I see that there's comments. This is fun. Thank you, guys. Thank you, John, for the nice comment. I kind of missed that fake you boy Zach. I love those comments. I came back from my break from social media, discovered a man who wears purple and is surrounded by a wife and children is gay. Yeah. A devoted, loving husband with 7 kids is gay. Yeah. He's a cook. Girls, that's gonna be, you're gonna see that women throw themselves at the patriarch, and he goes home to his wife. That's the but then again, everything's backwards. It's all projection. But yeah, it's funny. And I'm broke. And I'm broke. I got 7 artists working right now, and I'm broke. The only fear is that they all hand in the page on the same day. That's my only fear. Other than that, that's fine. What books from the New 52 era of DC did you like? I didn't. I that was a jump off point. That was a good jumping off point. But Discount Comic Book Service had a deal, and it was like $70 a month, and you got everything. I think it was $70, and it was everything 52. So it was 52 comics for like $72, and it lasted 9 months. So when that deal ended, so I got the first 9 issues of all of the New 52, and I gotta say I liked Animal Man and Swamp Thing are the ones that I remember liking. To the point I ended up finishing Swamp Thing run and finishing up the Animal Man run. So that's an answer to that. But I think Jim Lee's designs were silly. All those extra stuff. It's, that's nice for you, Jim Lee, but you don't do monthly work. You just now the monthly artist has got to do all these stupid lines. I'm getting hungry. I'm thinking of doing a fast. I might do a fast that Friday, Saturday, and Sunday after Thanksgiving. Try to do a 36-hour fast. Just coffee. John, did you ever get a jolt at work? And if so, did it give me superpowers? It gave me the ability to eat more food than the average human. I got 1 shock. I'm the electrician that doesn't have any getting shocked stories. I had 2 shocks. Okay. Both of them, I was an apprentice. And I was a lot heavier then, believe it or not. I'm actually losing weight now. My wife actually called me skinny tonight. But and the girl at Dunkin' Donuts told me I was very handsome. Granted, she looked like Yoda, but I'll take it. She probably calls everybody handsome, but whatever. But I was an apprentice, and I was in the Merchant Building, which was Marvel Comics headquarters, but not when I was there. Marvel Comics had moved, but it was original Marvel Comics headquarters. I did not know that. And it is in the location of the Baxter Building. So I was in the Baxter Building. And it was all building. At one point, it was the tallest building in the world for like 3 months. And I was tracing out a circuit and nobody knew where this wire came. It was live, and nobody knew where it came from. We flipped every breaker on, and we couldn't. So I just had to work with it live. And I got up there, and like I said, I was fatter back then, so I was in the ceiling, and I took a breath, and when I exhaled, I smushed the wire against the metal frame of the metal frame that holds the ceiling tiles in, and the insulation was the old felt insulation that is just crumbly, and it pierced the insulation, and I got a shock, and I literally felt it through my heart. That could have been really, really bad. And I was like, my foreman saw his eyes just got built, and he did the right thing. The second shock was my own fault. I was working in it was called Tokyo Archives, and we were putting in new light fixtures for them, and it was a Saturday overtime, and I just turned the light switch off. That killed all the lights were dead, and then I just put a piece of paper over the light switch. Don't flip the lights on. I'm working, but this beautiful Japanese girl comes in, doesn't read English, and flips the light on and shocks the hell out of me. I was like, bah! The funny thing about that job, God's honest truth, it was all Japanese people, and they all had a box of cheese nips on their desk. And I'm not even joking. And I just thought that was so funny that Japanese people had cheese nips on their desk. Somebody must have gave it to them thinking it was funny. I don't know. But it made me laugh because racism is funny. Like Razorfist once said, you'll have to work twice as hard for half the credit, so bury them in your greatness. Yeah, what's going on with Razorfist? He's being under attack. I literally have never seen a Razorfist video. Am I gonna regret even asking this? Hey everyone, does everyone else subscribe to God Loves Comics? What's that? It's the first time I'm hearing about it. Broke, they're confusing us, John. My parents separated when I was 8 years old, and my dad was a deadbeat, and I was angry behind that. What caused you to be angry in life? I don't know. All the men in my family are hotheads. I've seen my father crush people in bar fights. My dad was scary. He was a little shorter than me, but he was a tough guy. My uncle, these guys over at the other comic book people, they think they're mafia people. My uncle was a mafia guy, and he was the scariest human alive, and his kids, one of them is the best musician I've ever heard. The other one is the best fist fighter I've ever seen. It's just the males in my family are hotheads. It's just wired into us. And literally, one by one, we all came to a conclusion on us. This is no way to live life. And we just literally made a decision to not be angry anymore. I guess it's just genes, My mother said that my father was an angry man, but I don't remember it. And, before I was even born, he decided, so I guess it's just the way we are. In the electrical field, we use the term got bitten. Oh, really? We say blasted, got belted, blasted. Never heard got bitten. That must be like a regional thing. Never heard that. Since you're an electrician, does the taser have any? Like I said, I got zapped twice by low voltage. I got hit twice by low voltage. I've seen. Before, when you're an apprentice, you graduate to MIJ stage. So I was an MIJ, and that's when you get a lot more responsibilities. You're not quite an A journeyman yet. So I'm working under another A journeyman, and it's 4 or 5 MIJs. And the A guy was the scummiest electrician I've ever seen. His name was Eddie Tits because he was just fat and he had bitch tits. I don't know what his real last name was, but at work you get nicknames. And he was Eddie Tits. And Eddie Tits talk about a guy who would do anything for $1. Oh my God, he was so scummy. So we were working, and I move the ceiling tile, and there's a big metal box. I take the screws off the box, and all the wire nuts just come raining out, and it's just brown, orange, yellow. If you know, that means high voltage wires, and without wire nuts, just exposed copper. And I'm like, I take out my tester, and it's all live high voltage. I said, I'm not working in that box. And Eddie's calling me a fag. I was like, you do it, tough guy. And what he wanted me to do was to take a metal snake and stick the metal snake into a pipe into the live electrical room, and then we were going to, tie the wire on it and pull it. A metal snake. I was like, get a vinyl snake. I'm not doing this. Making fun of me. So he reaches in the box, falls off the ladder, flipping on the ground, flipping like a fish, screaming. I'm like, oh my God, are you okay? This is the first time I've ever seen anybody get hit by by high voltage. I'm like, are you okay? He's like, yeah. I'm like, okay. So now we're gonna turn off some circuits. We'll get a vinyl snake. We'll do it. He's like, no. I was like, what do you mean no? You just got hit by high voltage. I said, according to the rules, you got to go to the hospital. No. Okay. And he gets up on a ladder and he sticks his hand again and screams, and falls down again. And this time I go, you are the stupidest person I've ever met. You're an asshole. I'm not even doing this job. I'm going over there. I'm doing something else. You do this on your own. I said, the first time I'm sympathetic. The second time, shame on you. So there you go. That's the first and only time. And then I've seen some horrific results of other guys getting hit, but I've been bitten by spiders countless times in my life, and I never got superpowers. I mean, it's bad. If I go to sleep in a room and there's a spider, I will get bitten. Oh, God. He's 1/2 resistance to all electrical attacks. There you go. What is this guy? What was the biggest act I saw at CBGB's? Oh, I've been to CBGB's a million times. The biggest. I saw the B-52s. I saw the Rollins Band, Tool, Descendants, Sonic Youth. And this is just CBGB's. So I know I saw more, but who's the biggest? Mudhoney. I think Mudhoney. No, or did I see Mudhoney someplace else? Flopping like a fish. That's a great story. Eric Grant's got to go. Got to head out. Take care. Yeah, I'm going to go soon. Thank you, everybody, for keeping me distracted. I only got 3 more comics to finish this box. There was something else I wanted to say, but I got distracted. Oh, there's 1/2 elixir. I have a story that I didn't write yet, but it's going to be set in the 40s, and it's debuting a boxing-based superhero who battles a electrical-based supervillain, and it's all inspired by Chuck Dixon's Alpha Core. When they defeated that electrical villain, I made a couple of posts about that's not how electricity works. And I talked to Chuck Dixon about it, and he got a kick out of it. So I told him I was going to write a response on how to properly defeat an electrical-based villain. But the character, the boxing hero, is one of my characters from Villain to Vigilante. I'm not telling you the name because I don't like saying the names of the characters until they're ready to come out, because then I feel like other people could take them. So there you go. Do yourself a favor, John. Find a boxing-based superhero who should team up with King Fu. It's funny that you said that, because the boxing-based superhero will found a boxing school that turns into a martial arts school later on in the 70s. And eventually that's where King Fu, because King Fu has superpowers. He has metahuman abilities. More on that later. But he was a martial artist before he got the superpowers. Do yourself a favor, John. Watch Dispatch. You really enjoy. What is Dispatch? Is it a superhero movie? I don't. This is the first time I'm ever hearing about it. What is it? Yeah. So I have a story of the original. Well, it's not really the original, but of the Golden Age superhero team of World War II, and the boxing-based superhero is in it. He's a scientist who put himself through college by boxing. He was a prize fighter, but he's like Reed Richards. He's super, super smart, and he's also a boxer. And he's like, he's inspired by Tom Strong. So he's got the big shoulders and everything like that. But so he's like a gentleman boxer. He's gonna have the cauliflower ears and everything, and he's gonna be the first in like he's fitness. Everybody, you gotta use fitness. So he's gonna have like once he gets too old to be an adventurer anymore, he starts like a Jack LaLanne type of guy. So all the one of the things I like in DC is like all of the non-powered superheroes somehow get tied to Wildcat, and Wildcat is like the guy that helped train, Ted Grant trained Batman and all these guys. So that's what this guy is. He's gonna have a reign of like a time of adventuring, but then he's going to realize that as a scientist, he's better off as a scientist than as a guy who punches Nazis, So, and then he's going to found like a school of boxing and teach poor kids, give them something. And then that's going to morph into martial arts as in the 70s, everybody was Kung Fu fighting. And and then people like the Raven and King Fu, they all have some sort of connection to the boxing superhero. I don't know if you caught it, but I recommend Night Raven from Marvel UK. Yes, you told me about that. It was written by Alan Moore, Jamie Delano with art. It's a pulp. It's a Marvel comic, right? It's Marvel UK. Yes, you said that in the comment. I got to look that up. If it's an Alan Moore comic, I got to read it. I'm still a fanboy of Alan Moore. Him and John Byrne are my holy grails of getting on my channel. Oh my God, I would love to get them. Dispatch deals with the Superhero Dispatch Network, SDN. Cool. That sounds it. Dispatch is probably the most funnest superhero thing I've. Oh, okay. All right. Maybe I don't know if I'm going to watch. I'm getting real sleepy and I'm hungry. Sleepy and hungry. What do I do? Do I go to bed or do I eat and then go to bed? Whenever I eat and then go to bed, I lay in bed. I don't fall asleep right away. So maybe I'll just go to sleep and wake up and eat in the morning. But I did what I did what I set out to do. So I opened up a box of the regular covers, and I opened up a box of the Josh and Jose variant covers. So that means I got. There's a small box right there. So that small box must be the cosplay covers. That's the rare one. I only printed 50 of those. So if you want the Martina Makota Crenshaw cover, you got to order it now. There's only 50 of them in the entire universe. I have a second printing cover for Heroic Tales 1. I didn't reveal it yet. Something tells me Tony Grigo is going to absolutely love it. Maybe I'll do a sneak peek. Is anybody even a member of my channel? I'm so bad with that. But I love this cover. I don't know, maybe when Heroic Tales 3 comes out, because that'll be 120 pages of comic books. Maybe I'll do a trade paperback, and I'll use that as the cover. What does this say? Sleep and then eat? Yeah, I think I'm with you with that. I don't want to wake up my wife and start cooking. Get something to eat and have a good night. All right. Well, you know what? Thank you, everybody. Thank you for keeping me distracted, and I was able to do what I wanted to do. So that means because of this stupid taking the covers off of comics, I I was hoping to mail comics in the morning. So tomorrow I got to wake up. I got to get to the comic book store. I got to buy more backing boards and bags, and then I'll come back from the store and start fulfilling. Start typing out and printing out and everything like that. I'm getting sleepy and I'm not making sense. And then when I come home from work at midnight, I'm going to release the digital file. So if anybody is watching this now and you order the digital file, check your spam filters tomorrow night. I'll send them out. And then Saturday, I should get the bulk of everything. I mean, it's a pain. If you get organized and you get in the system, it's you could do it all. So I'm hoping to be done fulfilling by the end of this week. So I'm giving myself a week to fulfill. All right. So I'll see you guys. Thanks a lot. I guess it is time for me to say, I can't say the bye, kids, because this laptop won't let me. So I'll just end the stream. Good night. Thanks a lot, everybody.